Good evening and welcome to our crafting session this evening. It is already Thursday, the 16th of January 2025. That means we're over halfway through the first month of the year. My name's Jenny McCormac. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire, and that is here in the UK. I'm desperately trying to reach my table, but I do have a dog between me and my table surface, so I'm a little bit further away than normal, so I hope you can hear me and see me okay. Earlier this week, on Monday, I showed you, or I actually created some of these cards here, which is using a brand new punch called To The Point, which is this one here. So it's a very useful shaped punch. It does match a stamp set. This is the design here. It's always difficult to show it in the light, but hopefully you can see that shape. It might be better if I showed you that. That is the punched shape that you can create. And this is what we created at Coffee and Cards. So we use some of the free papers that you can get in Celebration. And if you bought this punch and its matching stamp set and the additional coordinating stamp set, then you could get those papers entirely for free. I'm just going to find my way to the stamp set. Here it is. So it's Bright Borders is the name of the matching stamp. Hi Brenda, good evening. Lovely to have you, join us. I'll just knock that to 6, look. There we are. So these are the ones that were created at Coffee and Card, and this is what we're doing tomorrow at the Brackley Lounge Cafe Bar. So I'll just flip through them quickly. They're all very similar. We've used the punch to punch out the shape, stamped in the centre of that, and then put a layer behind. So very simple, but some nice sentiments and some nice borders here. There's so much that you could do with this, and always with a shaped punch. There's so many more things you could do. So you could punch out a whole load of designer papers, different ones, and then stick those down in a formation like so, because it's nice and symmetrical. You could also do them this way, like that, if you wanted to. It'd be great for creating a window. I'm going to show you how you can elongate this to make this a larger piece, but I had an idea in mind literally 5 minutes ago, so I'm going to give that a go for our design, and then I'll show you a few other hints and tips as we go along. So let us get cracking. I hope everybody is well. I'm just making sure that I can try to find the live. Of course I can't, can I? It's there somewhere. Right, I'll find it that way. Just so it makes it easier for me to see who's on and chatting. Hopefully this will work this time round. That's better. So, hi Caroline as well as Brenda. So I've chosen this piece of paper. I don't think I used this in our earlier samples. And this is Lost Lagoon, and I've chosen a backing piece, and I've got a white card. So this layer here is 10 centimeters by 14.35. This is 9.5 by 13.85. And I originally had the idea of just punching out 2 windows and having a sentiment behind. And then I wanted to explore that a little excuse me, a little bit further. So I'm going to do 2 windows. Now you could do them this way round. You have to bear in mind how far this is going to reach. Obviously this is not going to go in the centre. You could have a single one in the centre at the top, for example. But what I'm going to do, I think, is put one here. And I'm not measuring these, I'm just doing these by eye. So I can see I've got sort of 2, maybe I'll make it a bit more, 3mm gap on one side, and then I'm going to come round to this side and do the same, like so, so that I've got 2 windows, and I'm going to stamp my message in here. I then decided that I think this would look nice with some paper on the top. Now it depends on your punch, and it depends on the weight of the card and paper. I wouldn't necessarily put those together and then punch it. So what I'm going to do is, oh that's pretty too, but it's the wrong way around, is I'm going to attach that, and then I'm going to punch these again through just the paper, because it's very easy to see, obviously, where that piece is. So let's attach this. So this is going to go on to here, and so I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the middle because I don't want this to come apart in the middle when I've punched the holes, and I'm going to put a little bit here and a little bit on the edges. Okay, you definitely don't want to add too much, and hopefully I've left enough of a gap around the edge. Hopefully you can see that. Oh, hi Cindy, good morning to you. Hi to Barbara, and also to Valerie that is watching. It's a really nice set, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here, and obviously if you've got an all over design, you do want to make sure that you've got the pattern going in the right direction. Okay, so I pop that on there, and I know then that I'm not going to have any glue on these pieces, and then all I'm going to do is effectively use this as a template. And I know that I put this section right up to the bottom of the punch, so it's quite easy to keep that lined up, she says, like so. There we go, that's that one, and they're going to do the same on this one. So I've got that effect. You could also have one that way and one that way. You don't have to have them in the same direction in the slightest. That was just the way that I punched them. So again, I'm going to line this up and punch again, like that. So now I've got my 2 windows. Let me put a little bit of glue on that very corner. What I'm actually going to do is just put a bit of glue on this spare piece. So don't ever try and lift it up and put glue in. Just put it on a spare piece, rub it on, and then flatten it down. Because otherwise, if it's paper and you bend it up, then you might get a crease and you might have too much glue on there. So my thought is to pop this on here, and of course this could go whichever way I want. If I want this one I just about to say if I want that one higher, I can turn it round. But it's the same, Jenny. Hey ho. And then what I can do is I can stamp the border in here, and I can stamp a sentiment. So I was thinking, in the set it's got this lovely "From All of Us", so I'm going to put "From All of Us" in there, and then I can put a happy birthday or something message in here. That is my plan. So I'm going to put "From All of Us" in there, like so. I am going to stamp the borders as well. And I could have two different borders, but I quite like this one because it's got this this pretty little set of flowers on here. So I can do that sort of top and bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark the edge of this with pencil, then do my stamping on here, and then pop this back on. So let's find a suitable pencil. This one will do. So we're going to position this on here, and then I'm just going to draw sort of these edges, like so. And it's only for the positioning. Now this would be perfect also for a window. If you wanted a window shaker card, that's the word. You could put a window sheet behind it and then lift that up, and you could have one, for example, with confetti. That'll make a great wedding card. One with confetti and one with a sentiment. Okay, so here's my little border, and I think what I'm going to do, and make sure that you just let that relax on your table before you pick it up on your thing there. I'm going to open this flat to make it easier to use, and I think I'm going to use Pretty Peacock as my border, just to make this stand out a little bit more, and Lost Lagoon for my text, possibly the other way around. We'll have a look, see. Now if this goes pear-shaped, I'm going to put another piece of white card behind, but hopefully it won't. I'm just going to bring this down towards me because I'm a little bit further away from my desk. I've got a dog's leg and a dog's backside between me and there. Okay. Now you could, if you wanted to, of course, position this on here and stamp through it. And the only reason I'm not doing that is if I don't get it very straight, I might stamp onto here, and then, although I can put another piece here, I don't want to waste a card front. So, she says, let's pop that on there. There's that one, and I can see the lines there. That's relatively good. I won't say it's perfect because I'm not exactly by it, but it will be good enough. I'm going to have to draw that one a bit better. So let's position that one there. It's mainly because of the light I can't see it. Let's do that. Okay. See if that will work better. You could change the colours of these. You could have these in different colours, for example. Okay, I think I've got away with that. So these are my pencil lines, and if you can see them, and this is my stamped border, and yeah, I've got away with that. Whew. So before I do anything else, I want to rub out those pencil lines. Just going to make sure I can find my rubber. Let me look, excuse me, in my first aid kit. There we go. So this is my first aid kit for humans and cards. amongst my kit are antibacterial wipes, plasters, glue, adhesive remover. I've got an ink remover. I've got emergency, what do you call those things? Post-it notes and a rubber. So I'm just going to rub these lines out. I guess what I could have done that might have made my life a bit easier would be to have used this piece before I put the backing on. Then I could have positioned it and then stamped directly without having to do the lines. But I think we're good to go. Okay, so let's rub those out. Make sure you've let your glue dry. I mean, normally, unless you've got a very inky ink pad, not your glue, your ink dry, should have said, then you should be fine. But if you've got a very new ink pad, obviously it's going to be wetter, and then it just might take a little bit longer to dry. Okay, so this now should all fit on there nicely, which it does. And let's stamp our sentiments and anything else I've got. So I'm going to put in there From All of Us. Take that one off. So this is from the Bright Borders stamp set, along with this here. And I think I'm going to put that in the middle. From All of Us. And then I had Best Wishes, but oh, it's just going to fit. It actually would have, no, it wouldn't fit that way. So I must have psychologically known, without realising it, that it was going to fit that way. Okay, just clean that off a little bit. And I think I'm going to use the Lost Lagoon again. There we go. There we are. So I've got Best Wishes From All of Us. This then is going to fit nicely on top. And I do wonder if the little flowers will fit on the side. I might just do it with gems, because it's got these cute little flowers here. But I've got quite a bit of flowers going on with the background and everything else. So I can either glue that flat, or I could lift this up and have it raised up. I'm not quite sure which I'm going to do. It's always quite nice with it raised, because it throws a bit of a shadow and it makes it look much more 3D. So, if I can see my dimensionals, which I have to hand here, I'm going to pop these up and then just add a little bit. I can add just a little bit of bling to this and it's basically finished. So I'm putting dimensionals obviously around the edge, and I'm also supporting it in the middle. This is where some of these edge pieces are really useful, because you can do a run of these. I don't tend to use a complete line. I like to break it up, otherwise you can bend the card and then it just doesn't sit particularly flat. So if you're finding you use a strip and it's buckling, then cut your piece into smaller pieces. There we go. A little bit overboard, but there we are. Let's whiz these off. Sorry about my dogs chewing bones in the background. They're both sat there chewing bones right next to each other. Right, I think that's the last one, maybe that one to come. I just glance at them and see if they're shiny. That's how I know. Okay, so I'm going to hold this over the top, supporting it both sides before I put it down, and with any luck it will also be in line with the border of my card. There we go. There we are. There's our card. Let me lift it up for you so you can see it through. There's a bit of a shadow across it. So if my bling is to hand, I will use that. I'm not sure whether it is. I've got gold, really want silver. Excuse me, boys and girls. Oh, sorry. Oh, these might do nicely. These ones here. Matching. So, normally I put them on these centres, but I think these are a bit big to do that. So what I might just do is put one on either side of this. Oops, that's not very straight. And put one maybe on that eye, the dot of the eye. Best wishes from all of us. And then I have got a light Lost Lagoon. I would probably use a lighter one actually. Let's see, like a pool party pen or something like that. This is Pool Party. And just fill in this tiny little flower just with literally a stroke. Leave the centre white. So I said you could make a fun little shaker card with this design. Remember, you'd need to support the whole thing, but I think it'd be quite fun with just one of the windows with some sequins in or confetti or something, and then this one here. Okay. And then I can put a sentiment on the inside which says congratulations or happy birthday. So there's our finished card, which I hope you like. And what I wanted to show you is how you can make that. Oh, thank you, Caroline. Caroline says raise it up. Sorry, I've only just seen your comment. So what I wanted to show you is how to make this longer, for example, or even you could make it shorter. Let me find. I'll do it on a piece of that same Lost Lagoon card. So what you want to do is measure the width of the cutout. So let me grab my trimmer. Let's move this out of the way. You can see what we're doing. So the width of this cutout is 2 inches, give or take. So what I'm going to do is cut a strip that is 2 inches. That's the piece. And then what you can do is what we need to do is bypass this end. So I might need to do it this way, maybe, is lift this up like so. So now what I can do, in order to keep this nice and straight, is punch that end like so, and then do the same at the other end. So I can do it. And maybe would have made it a little bit narrower. Because I'm just going into this slot here from the top. My light's reflecting against it and I can't see it. Here it is. I've got it. Or can I do it that way? Yes, I can do it that way. I'm making life hard for myself. Okay, so can we see? I'm now just extending that as far as I want it to go. And again, just make sure it is straight. So now, instead of this, I've got this one here. And similarly, if you want to make it smaller, you can put this in, and this has got to go the other way around, doesn't it? Oh, that won't help it, will it? So if you wanted to, you could put this in a little way up, like so. And make one that size. So we've got that one, and then this one which I've just cut down. So imagine it wasn't like that, but it went the other way. Let me put this back on underneath. Like so. So out of one punch, you can make it larger or smaller, okay, along the length. You can to an extent do it along the width, but it doesn't work in quite the same way because it's not symmetrical in that direction. But I'm trying to think, what you could do is if you measure this piece here and had a strip, you could make it cut that piece. Let me, why can I never find scrap paper when I need it? I'll just use this retired colour. Oh, I had a piece right here. Look, I could have done that. So, if I measure the width of this here and cut a strip that is that width or smaller, so this width here is it's about 1 1/4. So if I cut a strip that is 1 inch, for example, then what you can do is obviously just put this in and punch it, and you'll get a nice symmetrical rectangle. But you could also do the same thing and Well, yes, you don't really need to cut that any smaller, do you? You can just trim it, but if you didn't have a trimmer to hand, you could just make it whatever size you wanted, like so. You could also put it back in and use this to make a pretty edge. That one. And do the same the other side. So there's lots of different ways to utilise these sorts of punches. So you could do that. It's almost like a ticket shape, isn't it? So do have a practice. You can do that with existing punches. Obviously, square punches, rectangle, not quite the same, but anything with a bit of interesting shape, you can make smaller. And as I said, apart from the fact that I then cut this down, so put that back in, and you could also make it larger as well. So there we go. So thank you so much. Let me show you our finished card. So it's this one here, and I've used the punch, and then in the apertures I stamped the border and then 2 sentiments, one for each one, and these were our other samples from earlier in the week. One thing I do have to show you just before I go are the card designs for our Saturday class in Buckingham this weekend, and these will also form the basis for some of the cards from our class in a box for January. So it's using these gorgeous papers, Wildflower Birthday, and in the class in the box you'll get all of the components, and also you get enough for the class on Saturday. And it comes with this, the set and the dies come with this lovely little sort of banner which you can make into a pocket if you want to. So this utilises the papers, it utilises the matching number dies, which I've cut out in gold, and obviously you could put any number in there. You can make it anniversary rather than birthday, and we've got this lovely new gold ribbon, this one here. So we have it in silver, and now we have it available in that lovely gold, and it's great for tying because it's so fine. It just ties a really nice bow. So there's that one, and then we have this one here. This is a stamped image, the Make-A-Wish. That comes from the Cake Celebration stamp set. So this won't be exactly the same for our class in the box, because I know not everybody will have this stamp set, and I've just stamped it in the colours to match. But there are lots of die cuts that you'll be able to use for the class in a box, and again that's with the papers behind. And then this is more of the papers. This is cut into, looks a bit like an envelope or a tag, and I've added a die cut birthday onto that. This happy comes from the matching set, which is this one here. So it's called Birthday Celebration. This is the one that will go with the class in a box. It's got this lovely Make-A-Wish. That's the one I used on the cake. And then we've got Happy Birthday, we've got Happy Cake Day, and then we've got the numerals here, so 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and then 2, and then for your birthday, and there's a sweet little banner as well, and some little flowers. And as well as that, it has the numerical dies and this lovely pocket shape. So that's what we're doing on Saturday. I only have a limited number of spaces left on Saturday, but you can take my class in a box and make similar ones, but you'll be able to make a lot more than we are doing just on the Saturday. So there we go. You can see a bit of a theme of colours going on here. I think that's what gave me the idea for this, was that colourway, and it happened to be the first piece of paper I picked up out of my pack. So there we go. Hope you like those. If you do want to join us, just message me. If you live in Brackley, there's a lift available to and from Buckingham on Saturday morning. In the meantime, have a great weekend. I will be finalising the cards for my class in a box tonight, tomorrow. So watch out for details of those, and you can order that for delivery in the UK. Thanks everyone. Do take care. Thanks for popping on and watching. Hi Brenda. Thank you. Thank you Caroline, Trudy, Cindy, Babsy, Valerie, and anybody else who's watching. Have a great weekend if I don't see you. And in the meantime, stay safe, look after each other, look after your loved ones, and happy crafting. Bye for now.